Hi, welcome to Shared Frequencies and the Space Between, where heart meets brain and life happens in the messy middle.
We're two best friends navigating a new chapter, sharing a space, finding our rhythm, and tuning into life's transitions.
This is a space for deep and meaningful conversations about growth, connection, and everything in between. Let's tune in to today's frequency. Hi, and welcome back to Shared Frequencies and the Space Between. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
It has been a while. So, as always, I'm Elle.
And I'm Don.
And we have unwillingly taken a bit of a break.
Yes.
Yeah, it has just been a very crazy time. So we have actually not agreed, but we have just agreed, as in I have agreed, that this episode is called Let's Catch Up.
Okay, yeah, I was just sitting there going, oh, we didn't talk about what we were going to call this one. And my brain's kind of going, what can we call it? What can we call it? What can we call it? But there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a little bit of a catch up earlier because we've been talking about needing to get back into having conversations.
Yep.
Like the last month.
Well, we still talk. It's not like we don't converse, but
yes, yeah. But like having conversations in a different way. And that is how we use this podcast.
Yes.
To just like touch on different subjects and do like things in a very conscious way.
Yep.
And we've not had capacity for that.
No. For so many reasons.
For so many reasons. Yeah, exactly. So we talked about how to get back on track.
Yes.
With the podcasts.
Yes.
Or podcast episodes. So actually maybe we should do that just off the bat.
Yep.
We have decided that we were going to put out episodes every 2 weeks.
Yes.
Instead of every week.
Yeah.
Just because we needed to create a bit more space. And just not have it hanging over our heads.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. And it's just that, I mean, and as we said, we've both been busy. So that's what, is it a month?
It's a month.
Month since we put out our last podcast. And what happens then? You get a week behind, then you get 2 weeks behind, and then it's kind of like, it feels like, oh my God, never going to catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if we go for at least once every fortnight, and then if we've got anything else that we want to blab about or chat about, we can throw in extras.
Yeah.
So it just kind of takes a little bit of that it's not pressure, but it is just that kind of, I don't want it to become
like a feeling of an obligation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But also because we've been so busy living.
Yes.
Right. So we started, like the first recording we did was in January.
Yeah.
And we're now in July, which is just it's insane.
Yes.
Like it's just insane.
Yeah, it's November tomorrow.
Yeah, we've decided that it's probably going to be October, November tomorrow anyway. So, and then there were so many things happening, like that we needed to find our balance with in the beginning. So actually having that weekly, various conversations and building agreements and finding our feet and living together, which was the whole point of the podcast. And then, we did the kitchen. And then once that was sort of finished and things started moving again and we got back to life, and then, you got a job, which then, as we talked about, changed obviously the dynamic, and we needed to find our feet, and then it's almost like a snap of the fingers, and here we are a month down the line. So just to, if anyone is listening on a regular basis, I know my mum is, and I think my sister might be. I know you have a couple of siblings that might listen.
I mean,
I've definitely got a couple of questions like, what's happening? We're not supposed to put a podcast episode out on Tuesday. And I was like, well, actually, it's been a month now.
And on that point, if there's anybody out there who knows us and we don't know you're listening, let us know you're listening.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
because at some point down the line, we may want to invite friends or something like on for a chit chat. So if we don't know you're listening and we don't know you're interested, then you're not going to get an invite.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but then again, I also think that actually listening to a new episode every week is quite a lot, and then it might be a bit overwhelming for everyone. So anyway, we've tried to like just pump the brakes a little bit, create a bit more space, and especially also here over the summertime, there's so much happening, you know.
It's so friggin' hot just now as well.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the beastie is not impressed.
No, she's not. She's not. She's toiling a little bit with it, and not this. I mean, she is what she is, but she's still bouncy and you know, wanting her cuddles and her butt scratched and.
But also wanting her walk.
Yeah.
Right. So we are. It's It was about 5:30 or so, 5:50. 5:45, whatever, 5:30 to 5:45 I think, and it's 24 degrees here at the moment, and she was like, "Hi, so are we going? And she heard me when I moved the keys from one bag to the other, and she was immediately out at the door. So I put the lead on her. And we walk out the door, and then she was about to turn right to go up and do like a normal loop. And I just looked at her and I was like, it's too hot. Like, we can't do this. We need to do a loop on the cemetery. And she was like, started crossing the road, and she was like, oh, fine, whatever. By the time we were like halfway down to the cemetery, her tongue was like hanging at the side of her mouth.
And I was going to say that because for those who don't know, that she's not a breed that is designed for the hot
she's
weather.
a floofster, like you know. She's a half Malamute Husky, half Border Collie with a husky coat.
Yeah.
You know, she's got an undercoat. She's black
and husky attitude.
Husky attitude with the just silliness of a Border Collie. So like halfway down to the cemetery, and like her tongue was hanging out her mouth. We come down to the cemetery. And we do sort of like a walk halfway up the path. She does a poop and does her business. And then she just looks at me and go, are we going home now? I was like, well, we can if you want to. Like, which way do you want to go? And she's like, we'll do another just sort of like a little. And then she took me up to the top, walked across, down. And then she was like, okay, I'm done. We can go home now. You know?
The thing is at this time as well, at this time of year, because the sun's so high, there isn't even that option for the shade of the wall.
No, there was. There was. And actually, the grass verge that she was walking on was cool. So it is fine. I'm not irresponsible. I do the 5-second test. I put my hand on the pavement and just check that it's not too hot for her. We walk on the side that's, you know, shade and all of that. But, you know, again, stubborn as a husky, where she's like, it is 5 o'clock. We're going for a walk now, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's where we're at today. So we talked about earlier what we wanted to just sort of like try and catch up with. And also because I think we both needed to get a bit of a reference to what has actually happened over the past month. My mother called me on Sunday because she was now caught up, and she was like, I think we're not supposed to put an episode out on Tuesday. I was like, well, actually, it's been a month. And then, you know, she was like, oh, but did Don get a job? And I was like, yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So should we kick off with what's happening there?
Yeah, so, I was out doing a bit of taxi driving for that. And I did 5 weeks, although I had a week off of that where I wasn't driving, so I did 4 weeks of driving, and I'm not driving anymore.
No, you had last day yesterday as to when this is recorded.
Yes, so so that was. I enjoyed the driving.
You enjoyed the banter and like the conversations with the
passengers. I thought, I mean, it was all great, but I mean, ultimately, financially, it's a tough gig.
It is a tough gig.
You know, and even where I was driving, which is a popular visitor kind of destination and whatnot, it is a tough gig. It's you know,
because there's a lot of people fighting for the lion's share. Come on, but that's almost how it feels, right?
It does. It feels there's the balance. It's hard to strike a balance. You know, on a busy day, there's plenty for everybody. You know, but even so, just to clarify, I was what they call it, a second driver. So I was driving somebody else's car when they weren't driving it.
Yeah.
So as a result, that I was getting a share. So obviously there's still car expenses and stuff to be covered, and there's still a bit of income for the car owner and whatnot to be had from that to make it worth their while. So, but as a second driver, I wasn't even getting minimum wage.
No.
You know, so ultimately it was kind of like, why?
Yeah,
you know,
it's
so that was the ultimate kind of what it came down to, was the why.
That's what it always comes down to, right?
Yeah.
You know,
why am I doing this? And then it was, and as much as I enjoyed the people and the conversations was having, I mean, I've had some amazing conversations with people over the last month and a bit. You know, so it's just like, you're doing 9-hour days plus commute. And you're just, financially it's just why.
but you also, as we've talked about and as you've said, you knew that going in.
Oh yeah, I knew that, absolutely.
And that was also not why you did it to begin with.
No, it was
right.
It was something to do. Yeah.
Get out of the house, get back into that whole frame of mind of like having to get up for something.
Yeah.
And getting into that work mode, because that is a different part of your brain.
Yeah.
You know, and that had not been exercised for quite a while.
No, and by the way, when I say I wasn't making minimum wage, I was making like 60% of minimum wage.
Yeah.
You know, so it wasn't even close to it. You know.
Yeah.
And I think looking at it, and you know, it's like everything else. You take good days with the bad.
Yeah.
But the average that I would have needed to be doing to make
minimum what's equivalent to
minimum wage, it just, I was nowhere near getting to that. You know,
No.
and even on because my better days would have needed to have been average days.
Yeah.
You know, for it to work.
Yeah.
But and then, you know, there was just the culture, the environment.
Old white men.
Yeah, middle-aged, which I am, and older white men environment.
Sorry, the intake, if you heard that, was me just going, oh, so actually, apparently, I am officially also middle-aged, because apparently, with the life quality that we have these days, with the lifestyle illnesses and all of the things that are coming from our diet and our like lack of exercise and our just lifestyle and our environment, actually, the quality of life in your later years has diminished to a increased degree compared to the length that we live. So actually, officially, middle-aged now, when you're looking at it in a life quality kind of way, starts now at 35.
As I've not taken my notepad, you will have to take a note. I think we could do an entire episode talking about that.
I will make a note.
Talking about that.
What note should I make for those?
Age.
Oh, just age?
Longevity and quality of life.
And longevity. I have spelled that incorrectly.
That's fine. It's your notes. You can spell it however you like.
Age, longevity, quality of life. Okay, note made.
That's something that we could do a full episode on. So As has been mentioned once or twice on here before, I have undiagnosed ADHD, so I was finding that I was in a constant state of masking.
Yes. Do you want to elaborate a bit on that, or at least on how we have understood it? Because I think we understand it the same way.
Yeah.
Other people might understanding would see it or feel it in a different way.
Yeah, so...
so do you want to, just for people who are not...
Yeah, so for me,
familiar with it.
I was finding myself in situations where I couldn't be myself, where I couldn't express myself, or where I couldn't express my views, thoughts, opinions. Some of the stuff that I was seeing, hearing, was very toxic. Has no place in society. And my initial attempts to try and push back against that, or to express an alternative view, or to go, or to highlight how unacceptable it was, there was just no support from the wider group around me on that. So I kind of felt like it was like, so I had to like mask that kind of...
Okay, so those are two different things for me.
Yeah.
I understand why you put them in the same box.
Yeah.
For you, or under the same sort of heading for you. Hi, Joshua.
That heavy breathing's not mine.
No. And you've also not put your tap shoes on.
No.
Yeah, but that whole thing about not being able to be yourself, or like that having to rein yourself in.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's a very physical feeling of having to mask. I smile a lot more, like forcefully smile. That's my front of house face. My tone of voice is a little higher. My friend Gemma, who I've worked with in the hotel, we started together on reception. Yeah. And then we moved downstairs into the sort of like office thing together. She worked in events and I worked in sales. Yeah. But we were sat quite close to each other. And there was one of the people on my team, in the sales team, that we just didn't get on. Like we were just like clashing at every turn. And she would like prance over and be really sort of like demanding and just like so much better than you, and I'm so much more important, and I so when she would like demand something on me, she wouldn't ask, she would demand something on me of me, and I would just be like, yeah, of course I can, no problem, I'll get that to you in like 10 minutes. And if I then used the word like sweetie, or like, you know, and in quotation mark endearing term, Gemma always like turned over and she was like, are there any sharp objects around her? Where everyone else was just like, oh, she's so polite and she's so happy and she's so like easygoing, and Gemma would be like, oh my god, she's about to stab the bitch.
And I find that quite interesting, because you do not have a poker face.
Oh, I don't.
You do not.
But I have a masking face.
You know, you know, when we worked together previously, and sometimes when we were sitting in calls, and when I felt that you needed a message on the side to say you're on camera. Yeah. Because your face shows your face shows everything. Yeah, yeah. You know,
but so when I am masking, it's a very physical thing. Yeah. So I feel like I'm wearing not like a straight jacket, but like I feel like I have like something that tethers me, like physically sort of like holds me back. Yeah. And then like it's an actual mask, like my face becomes an actual mask, and I can't say, like my voice changes because I can't say what it is that I want to say.
But that's where I found myself going. Yeah. When I realised that any attempts to converse with or whatnot around these things were just going to be absolutely pointless. They were probably going to cause upset and you know, not upset's the wrong word, because people who do these things deserve to be upset. But it was going to change nothing. It was just going to cause me more. Which is really interesting, because we were talking about this earlier on, and it was kind of like, you know, I've suffered from burnout in the past, and I've come to the realization this week that masking that I do uses way more energy than I ever realized. And credited towards it, you know. And in previous incidents, in previous jobs and situations in life, so I find that I'm either using up a lot of energy masking. And where I actually refuse to mask, I then use up a lot of energy battling. Where there's the need for that. You know, so it's just kind of like, you know, I just need to find a space. A job, a profession, whatever it is, whereby actually I can be me, and the people around me accept me for me, whether they agree with me or not. Because this is not I expect everybody to agree with me thing.
No.
You know me. I love to be challenged on my thoughts and views and things, and because that's how you grow. So that's what I need. That's what I need.
I understand why people aren't feeling comfortable challenging you on some of the things that you say or how you go about things, because you come across as very confident and as in like very knowledgeable, and you have a lot of things, whereas I'm just like, bullshit. Like, no. Like, absolutely not.
And I'm, as you know, I'm fine with that. But I'm also bigger physically.
You are physically.
You know, so I totally get why sometimes people won't or are less inclined to.
I also think that because I do have a little bit of a Chihuahua syndrome, as in like I'm relatively petite. Like I'm tall. I'm not very tall.
No.
But
you're feisty.
Yeah.
You're feisty. You know, and that's it.
So I'm like, no, no, I'm not having it.
What was it? It was Simon Sinek again. I reference him a lot. I've got to listen to this podcast a lot. Used the phrase that he has strong beliefs loosely held.
Yes.
You know, so if I believe in something, I will believe in it with all that I am until somebody presents an argument or a situation that shows that to be different. And then I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm quite happy to change my view, my position, my thoughts, my belief, my understanding. But it needs that person just to go, call me out. And go, or like, not necessarily call me out, but go, is that right?
Pause. Can we just workshop this? Because we come at it from two different angles. And that's actually what we do. We do workshop it, right? Where sometimes I'm like, no, stop, hang on a minute. This is how I'm coming at this from, or this is how I have experienced it, or like this is how I see it. And then sometimes we realize that what we're actually saying is the same thing, but because
it's a language thing.
Exactly. It's like, well, this word holds this thing for me, whereas it holds that for you. And then sometimes it's like, no, but listen, this is my experience, and because of my cultural identity, my physical gender representation, and like my physical presence in a space, you will have had a different experience because of your similar things. And it's not that we are coming at it from two different point of views. Well, we do, but it's more sort of like, well, it's because we haven't necessarily actively considered that, as you like to say, that our world isn't the map. In this particular, like in a particular,
or our map isn't the world.
That's the world.
Because we all draw our own map, but our map isn't necessarily the world. And shout out to Don McNaughton, my life coach instructor. who took me through my life coaching. Well, not for that one. That was where I learned that one. So
yeah, no, it is very good.
and he may have got it off of somebody else, and if he wants to credit them when he's doing his next podcast, he can you can do that. But yeah, and it's also and language is, you know, because you being multilingual, being what you have your grammar, you have a better grasp of grammar than I do. I will hands up and
I have
say
a more
that.
conscious grasp of grammar, mainly because I've had to learn it.
And understanding. It was a prime example earlier on when we were talking about Lego. And I said, oh yeah, Lego, the world's largest wheel manufacturer.
Oh yes.
Largest tire manufacturer. Yeah. And you were like, no. And I was like, oh, where are you going to, and then you're going like, they produce the most tires, not the largest tires. And I was just kind of like, yeah, Lego, the world's largest manufacturer of tires.
Yeah.
You know, so just little things like that, which I'm kind of like, okay. But from now on, I will just say the world's largest manufacturer of tires, because for me, it's like, that removes the confusion.
Yeah.
You know, so stuff like that. So that's, for me, it's been a really exhausting.
I mean, it has been an exhausting month.
For me. But there's also the flip side of that, and how you handle when I'm like that. Mm-hmm. You know, again, we talked about this earlier on, where you have to body double.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You have, when I'm in that, well, because it's hard to, when you're taking the mask on and off, but
it puts you straight into something that a lot of ADHD people experience, and it's executive dysfunction.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it's called. It's executive dysfunction. You cannot make any executive decisions. You have no executive functions.
Yeah.
So like decisions about when we eat, what we eat, how it's prepared, when it's prepared, you know, housekeeping in terms of like taking out the bins because they're now overflowing, or doing the dishes, or, you know, doing your laundry, or like all of those executive functions that we're not aware of, that we do all the time, and that we need to do all the time. When you are in that, I don't know if is it like a dopamine burnout, or like is it just like
it's just
exhaustion,
overwhelm.
Yeah. So when you're in that state, those things just disappear.
Yeah, because here's the thing, and this is just kind of, I'm formulating this as we kind of speak. It's just because I'm realizing, when you're in that state of masking, or not being able to be yourself, you are making 1,000 decisions a second.
Yes, because you have to constantly make a decision about reining yourself in, controlling your emotions, controlling your reaction, controlling your thing. Like you're in that heightened state of alert.
Everything you do, everything you think, everything you say, every reaction has to be thought out, because you don't want your true self to
break through.
You know, so it's decision fatigue.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
It's decision fatigue.
But it's something that happens very unconsciously. Like it happens in your subconscious, because you are so restrained.
And I think it's credit to us and the relationship that we have, that I can come from that home and not feel that I have to make every decision.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That actually, as much as I know that it may irritate you, and whatnot, that you understand.
But that's what a partnership is.
Yeah.
Right. That's what a partnership is, and I hope that's what everyone out there have in their partnership, whatever that partnership is.
Yeah.
Right. If that's with a legal spouse, or if it's with a romantic partner, if it's with your business partners, like whatever that partnership looks like for you, I hope you have what we have, where it doesn't have to be a conscious conversation where it's like, hey, what are you on? Like, what percentage of capacity are you on right now? I'm on this is what I can give in, right? So some days if you're on 20% capacity because you have been masking for 3 days straight, you know, then if you come home and you give 10%, then you're delivering your thing, right? If you're delivering, even if you're giving 20%, then you are giving all that you can. That is you then at 100%. So your 20% is your 100, right? If I'm then coming home and I've been at the office and I'm a bit overstimulated and all of that, but actually I'm on 75%, well, then my 50% of what capacity I have left is still almost 3 times the amount that you have left. So I will just do that. I check in with you in an energetic kind of way and be like, where are you at? What is needed for this to happen? Okay, you cannot make any decisions. That's fine. I will just do. And you might be asked like, hey, are you hungry? Do you want to eat? Or I'm going to start cooking now. And you'll just be informed, hey, I'm going to start cooking now. If you don't want to eat, you don't eat, but I need to eat. You know, so it's that flow and ebb.
It was like there the other weekend where we were both just like, so we just
we had a
on the Saturday,
day.
we just were like, let's just like, we're doing what we're eating and breathing, and that's about all we're going to do, and we're watching a bit of TV. You know, because that's what we both needed. You know,
we both just lay on our brand new sofas.
Which is like, you know, we're half an hour in and we've not got to the new furniture, because we talked about getting the new furniture in previous. So I'm sure our millions of listeners are going like, tell us about the furniture. What happened with the furniture?
Well, what happened was that Elle had a breakdown, and then we found a solution, and then she informed Dawn that she was going to be away for a weekend, and if he could please take care of it so she didn't have to look at her beloved furniture being taken out of the house. That was what happened.
So
she came home to brand new furniture. But yeah, no, let's just like round this off a little bit, because we are bounce. So when constantly masking, you end up with subconscious decision fatigue, which put you into executive dysfunction. When you're in executive dysfunction, all of those things that if you are not neurodiverse, or if you are in a state of executive function, is really exhausting to be in, because you feel like you carry the load. But if you have an understanding of who your counterpart is and what is happening, then it's easier to give leeway, right? Because I workshopped this. You know, in a separate kind of thing. I was sending a weekly waffle to a friend, just like the catch up, and I was like, this is what happened this week, and this is how I'm feeling, and but it's not a conversation, it's just a stream of consciousness thing. And then halfway through it, and I was like, I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm feeling this about that, and I'm doing that, and this is exhausting, and I'm putting in where you can't because you're in executive dysfunction. And actually, it's really annoying that you said you were going to do these things, and then you ended in a sit pit for 2 hours, and then the second I got up and started moving, you were like, oh my god, I was just about to do this and I want to rip your head off. But actually what happened there was that it was because it was body doubling. And if I had just done that consciously, instead of trying to give your space and trying to get, you know, then okay, well then you need to be aware of this, and you need to work with what it is that you have, because...
But also in that state of, when I'm when someone's in that state of executive dysfunction, it's not that they can't do anything.
No.
It's just that they don't know what to do.
Yeah,
they don't know what to do first or whatever. So, and
making a decision about where to start.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
Like, give me a list of things to go and buy at the shop. No problem.
Yeah.
Ask me to go and do a specific thing in the garden.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I can give you a task, as we also talked about. Like, I can give you a task, and it's not that you can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's just that you can't make a decision about what to do, how, and when.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having to give an order, but it's not an order, it's a task.
It's a prompt.
So you need to delegate, and you need to be aware, right? And make sure that there are no obvious side quests that could happen there. So,
and it's just like, even though, I mean, I'm still a little bit in that executive dysfunction.
Oh yes, yeah.
But like today, there was things. It was like, we're going to have bagels for breakfast. You need to go and get bagels, and this is what we're going to have on the bagels, and go and get the bagels. And then it was, do you have any laundry? And then I was kind of like, it was like, could you just take your laundry out? And then the washing machine was finished, and you were like, oh, would you mind hanging the laundry up?
Yeah, but I emptied the emptied the washing machine, and I separated out the things where I'm like, this, needs to be hung inside, and this can go outside. And then it was like, do you mind hanging the laundry out? And you're like, yeah, absolutely, I can do that, no problem. You know, and then it was dry, and the washing machine was done, and it had been done for a while.
Yeah.
And then I started taking the dry clothes down, and then you're like, oh yeah, no, that's right, we need to take that down. So it's just, for me, being more aware and like just consciously making the decision to do the things instead of just doing them myself. But I'm also, I'm suffering from hyper independence. So if I get to the state where I'm like, I'll just do it myself. As you, and it has happened a couple of times where you're like, oh, well, I was just about to go do the tomato soup. Yeah. Right? And you're like, oh, I was about to do that. And I'm like, too late, I've already started. And then I'm like, that is so, like, that's not okay. So I was just, I didn't have space for you to be in the kitchen, and I didn't quite know where I was at yet. So I was just like, no, it's too late, I've already started, so let me just get to a stage. And then I was like, hey, come have a look at the mountain of tomatoes. Also, this is the tomato soup I'm looking at. What do you think here? Okay, and then we worked together and was like, what oven dishes do I need to use, and how do we do that? And because you have a better spatial awareness than I do. So it's like, which of these, baking sheets can go together in the shelves and in the oven? And
But and it absolutely, and it is that. And as I said to you earlier on as well, it's like, on my days off, when I was on my days off, and it's just like, because I'm aware that you've been carrying the load, as it were, and I'm like, right, okay, on my day off, I'm going to do these 277 things.
Yeah, you've created a list for yourself.
And then I get 5 things done, and I'm like, and then I beat myself up a little bit inside for not having done more. And I know that's a thing that I have to work on. I know that in partnering that's because there will be times where actually you're the one that's maybe having a little bit of executive dysfunction, or you're not feeling 100% or whatever it is, and and I will be there. And as you say that, that's what makes partnerships work. It's not that. It's not that you wash the dishes one night and I wash the dishes the next night. That's not, or you take the bins out one.
It's not.
That's not how partnering works.
No, it's not. It's not. And if you do live that way and it works for you, absolutely all credit to you. But that would not work for me like when you're keeping score, like that's not.
Yeah.
It's not it's not transactional.
No.
It's not transactional.
It's not transactional. That's 100%. So that's where that's been at. Furniture. Let's get on this. Let's talk through the furniture scenario.
It was hard.
Yeah. So we talked a bit about it in previous episodes.
Oh, but I don't think you're necessarily aware of the emotional meltdown I had when I was in Denmark. Like, it was hard.
Yeah.
So I was away for a weekend. I had I did the math. What was it, like 42 hours on Danish ground? So I flew back on Friday afternoon, and then we had a show with my entire family. We had a show on Saturday night, and then I flew back Sunday morning. And we had ordered new sofas.
Mm-hmm. New dining table.
And a new dining table and chairs. And new sofa tables.
Yes.
Well,
coffee tables. Coffee tables to everyone outside of the Scandinavia.
Outside of the Scandinavians and this household.
Absolutely, and I will just say that sofa tables is a far better descriptor for them than coffee tables either.
Yes. So the sofa, the chair, and the sofa table that was there.
Yeah.
Getting rid of that was fine.
Yeah.
It felt weird coming back into the space because it obviously looked very different, and there were things like I think I'd been home for probably 45 minutes, and then I was like, so we're changing this, and we're putting the rug back, and we're doing it this way, and we're adding the cushions, and
none of that unexpected.
No. I was like, oh my god, my plants. I need my plants like into the room. It feels weird. Oh, yeah. What am I going to do with the plant here?
Because I'd taken all your plants and put them outside.
Because it had been raining.
Because it had been raining, so they would get a bit of rain on.
Yeah. And then, but the dining table was that was a big thing. And although, I love the dining table we're at now, I love the chairs. Yes. The chairs are so much more comfortable.
Practical.
Yes, it's a lot more practical. And although I'm not currently sitting crisscross applesauce on the chair, because I kept starting off the circulation to my toes when we were sat outside. So I'm just trying to be mindful of that. But they're a lot more comfortable to sit on for longer periods of time. But they're a lot shorter in the backrest. The table is black instead of glass. And it's actually the same length and the same width as the other table, but it's oval. The new black one is oval, which takes up so much less space. And then we only got 4 chairs to begin with. Yeah. And I was just like, nope, the space feels wrong. The lamp is too high over the table. Like, there's too much space. It looks small, and it looks wrong.
I still think I can lower that.
We can have a look at it. And then it was what it represented and what had been taken out, and then the fact that we ended up giving it away originally. Yeah. Right? Like, you're like, oh yeah, someone will come and pick it up, and will come and pick it up for free. And like, when you said that it was going to get picked up for free, like, I felt like my heart had been pulled into my lower abdomen. Like, it just dropped. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, I loved that table. And the chairs, like, it was just... But it was just such a beautiful and perfect table, and but it was also what it represented. Yes. But it was just like,
Well, it was your hopes for that table.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was just everything about that table. You know, it was perfect in the space. It was perfect, like the chairs and like how the energy flowed, and like it was just everything. And then you were like, yeah, so someone will come and pick it up for free, and I was like, oh, okay. Well, it is what it is. You know, it needed gone because you'd got the other furniture, and I was like, you had said that you were going to do that. You know, when you said that you'd lowered the price without consulting me, I was like, oh, I'm not okay with that. But I know why I'm not okay with it, and it's fine. It is what it is. And then you informed me that, you know, someone was going to come pick it up for free. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And then he came and he looked at it and he was like, are you sure? Can I give you something? And he did, which was really nice of him. And I was like, okay, it's fine. They seemed really happy about it. You know, it as long as it's gone to a good home and it's not being taken out of circulation. And then, so this was, I came back Sunday afternoon, and then I came back from the office, I think, on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, you'd go to the office on Monday, yeah.
So I came back home and I was like, something is hanging on the door. What is this? And I picked it up and then I was like, holy shit. So they had come back to the house and they had posted more money through the door because they were like, this table is exactly what we wanted. It is perfect.
Yeah.
It is worth so much more than what we paid for it. And it's not right. And we wanted to give you more money. And that just reaffirmed to me, not the money. The money was... Don't get me wrong. It's been financially, I'm still trying to find my feet with it. I don't know what's happening financially for me at the moment. It's a bit weird, but so like financially for that was really nice. But it was more the sentiment that it had 100% gone to the right people.
And they were a young couple setting up their first place, you know, and yeah. From my side of that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
From my side of that, in the moment, I was in full on practical mode.
Yes. Oh, no, I was fully aware of that.
It was just like...
Which is also why I never commented on it.
This needs to be gone. After the fact, once I had set up a new sofa, set up a new dining table, and I was sitting there and whatnot, and I was just like... That was out of order from my side.
Okay.
To have done that because it wasn't my furniture. It was, you know, those I made decisions there that were not for me to make.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, oh, buggerty bollocks. And then I was like, okay, how do I put this right? And I was just like, I can't.
No.
I can't put this right because I made a bad decision.
Well, no, you didn't.
No.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't make a bad decision because you had informed me that that was what you were going to do.
I still should have checked in with you before I did it.
Yes, but you did inform me, and I did have the opportunity to say, "Oh, hang on a minute there. That is not your decision to make."
Yeah.
Right? If this, I want X amount of money for this table, and if I don't get that, we're not changing the fucking table.
Yeah.
So I could have put my foot down.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and you did give me the opportunity, although you informed me that if the table isn't gone by X time, I will just drop it off at a charity shop.
Yeah.
So you informed me, but I did have the opportunity to go, absolutely not.
Yeah.
But
I also didn't drop off at the charity shop.
No, you didn't. You know. But you would have.
Yeah, if I'd found a way to transport it, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I would have got a charity to come and collect it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you called a couple of charities.
Yeah, I did,
right?
Yeah.
So you did tell me that was what you were going to do.
Yeah.
And I did have the opportunity to stop it. So it was not a bad decision. You made a decision that wasn't necessarily yours to make.
Yes.
But to some extent, I had given you, what's that word? Do you know when you give someone...
The fear? No.
No. Well, I did that earlier when we were setting up for this, and you're like, well, why don't you just that? And I was like, come out here and say that to my face.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, when you give someone, say that you need to go pick up a package for me, and I give you a thing to say that you are allowed to do that.
Carte blanche. Is that what you're
saying?
No,
it's not carte blanche.
Free reign.
No, that's also not what it is. It's when you like legally give someone permission to make decisions.
Power of attorney.
Yes, that was what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Right. So to some extent, I had given you power of attorney to dispose of the table.
Yeah.
Because we had paid for the new table and the sofas and arranged for them to be delivered at a certain time or on a certain day. So I knew that it needed gone.
You see, this is what happens when somebody in executive dysfunction has to make a decision.
No. This is what happens when someone with your specific TB, when someone with your specific ADHD gets a project.
It was just full on. It was just full on.
Gets a project.
Practical, like how means to an ends.
Yeah.
But no, I was.
But it was hard. But I was also aware of why it was hard. Right. I was fully aware of it, and then I saw the pictures, and I was like, I don't like it. Like, I like the table. I really like the table. I like the chairs.
There wasn't enough of them.
But I was like, it's wrong. Yeah. Like, it's wrong. It's too small. Like, it looks too small.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And my mum was like, maybe it's just the angle. I think it's okay. I think it looks all right. And I'm like, no, it's not all right. And I was like, but I also know why it's not all right. And it's okay. Like, these feelings are okay. And then when I came home and I looked at it and I was like, oh, maybe it just needs a rug, and maybe we need some artwork, and maybe we need to do this. And I was like trying to figure out how to fix it. And then I was like, oh, it just needs 2 more chairs.
We agreed on that. Yeah,
like, I think because we were talking about, well, maybe we'll put the rug underneath here. And I think we did that first.
We did, yep.
And then I looked at it and I was like, oh, no, that was not it.
No, really.
That's not it.
Let's take the rug back out again, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, maybe these things. And we were talking about, or maybe we'll go get some artwork, or maybe we'll look at that. And then looking at it again, I was like, I think it just needs 2 more chairs. And you was like, you know what? I was actually thinking the same thing. So on a rainy day, I send you back to IKEA.
Yeah, you were. What was it?
No, I was.
You were away. You were in.
No. I was in the office, but I had come back from having been in Eyemouth.
It was a Monday.
No, it was a Wednesday.
I wouldn't have been here on a Wednesday. Must have been a Monday.
No, I think it was after you came back from. I had come back from Eyemouth.
Yeah, I was off that week. Yeah,
and then you had been to Inverness, which we need to touch on in another.
The what, sorry?
You'd been to Inverness?
Oh, I'd been to Inverness. I thought it said you had been doing something.
No. You'd been to Inverness, but we need to touch on that in another episode because...
We're 54 minutes into this one.
So, you'd been to Inverness and then you'd come home Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
And then I'd been in the office on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then it was raining and you had all of these plans and then you ended up being like, I think I might go to IKEA. And I was like, I think you should. Can you go get those chairs, please?
Yeah, because I went to get some storage stuff for my room.
Yeah.
I was
That's
going
right.
to go and do that.
That's right.
Yeah. So
So, right, do we have any loose ends? Right, we talked about your job and how you're not doing that anymore, that you have been masking for so long,
yeah.
and then that put you into executive dysfunction,
Which I'm now moving out of, hopefully.
and how it's going to take a little while, but this is helping, and then how our partnership work and why it works, especially in those situations. And then the new furniture. Any loose ends on that?
I don't think so.
Because we have been a little bouncy.
Well, and I think, we were talking about doing something else for our next episode, but I think we're going to do maybe have to do a second catch-up episode.
Yeah, and we might release this just like a week, so we might not force you to wait 2 weeks to listen to the second part of this catch-up, because there has been a lot of other things actually happening.
Yes.
So...
And that makes sense. That makes sense that because we've got 4 weeks of busy.
I mean, we've got more.
No, we've had 4 weeks of busy.
Well, but it's more.
Since we released our last episode, so it'll be 5 weeks. Well, no.
It's definitely 5 weeks, because today is the 11th and we recorded on the 9th.
So, of course, because... So I need her 5 weeks of busy.
So, yeah, exactly. It's also now getting late, so maybe we should also think about having food.
Yeah.
So let's sign off. Thank you so much for hanging out with us again here on Shared Frequencies and the Space Between.
So if we helped you find clarity or got you thinking, you're welcome.
If you liked it, subscribe, review and share. And if you didn't, just pretend you did.
So we'll catch you next time on the same wacky wavelength.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.